Singapore Airlines was awarded the best airlines of the year second time in a row. Not at all surprising for me because I have flown Singapore Airlines several times. I have been to all these 20-30 different countries. I have flown Singapore Airlines, British, Qantas, Indian Airlines and Emirates. Out of all these different experiences, the one thing that I remember always is going to be my experience with Singapore Airlines. So I didn't find this surprising at all that Singapore Airlines bagged the best airline of the year. However, something started, it intrigued me. Like I became curious to know what did Singapore Airlines do in order to get there. My friend Roger Dooley, in his book Brainfluence, talked about something called as sensory marketing, and then it dawned on me about the Singapore Airlines. Yes, sensory marketing, that's something that they are using right now in their business and everybody should follow. Sensory marketing, it's not anything new or great or an extraordinary invention. It's been around for a long time. It's all about the psychology of if you're running a brand, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're selling something online, offline, if you need to have that impact for your brand, if you want to have that brand recall, which companies are spending millions of dollars for having a good brand recall with their audience, you need to focus on sensory marketing, which talks about appealing to the senses of your audience. For example, let me give you some examples. Visual. Singapore Airlines, we'll take Singapore Airlines as the case study here because I love Singapore Airlines and I really relish the experience that I have got from Singapore Airlines. So when we take this as an example or for a case study, Singapore Airlines does follow visual branding principles. Like what are visually appealing branding? They consistently follow the same color pattern, and you watch all their videos, you watch their advertising, you can see their the models are wearing the same Singapore Airlines dress. They have the same suit, they have the same color combinations. Wherever everything visual about Singapore Airlines carries the same colors, same theme, same background and the same kind of images, so that it ingrains into the people's mind or the subconscious mind, because it is something also can be related to neuromarketing, for example, because appealing to the senses of the brain is neuromarketing. And music, Singapore Airlines constantly and consistently has a very specific music track. Whether I didn't understand what the music was all about or the lyrics was all about, but I still remember the music. I can just imagine and hum the music because that's so consistent. They have the same kind of music in their booking offices, in their lounges, in the airports, in their ticketing counters, inside the cabins, and in the toilets. Wherever you go, you hear the same music over and over again, and by doing that, Singapore Airlines is making or appealing to your auditory senses, that is visual as well as auditory senses. But if you think that's it, no, it's not. There's even more to it than it appears to what you can see and what you can hear. They also appear to your olfactory or the sense of smell. Singapore Airlines specifically got a perfume, a fragrance developed for their campaigns, and they consistently use the same fragrance in their cabins, in their booking counters, and even their staff and air hostesses, they also wear the same fragrance. Amazing, isn't it? No wonder they became so popular or get etched in their customers' minds. And of course, they also have great customer support to back all of this. Plus, they also appeal to the taste buds. They have great chefs prepare their menus for them, and they consistently maintain their tastes, the taste of the food they serve their customers, and that's the reason why I took this as a case study, because they appeal to all the different senses of human beings, and that's how they are able to become the world's best airline for 2 years in a row, and I assume or I presume that many more will follow you to use the same pattern probably in future. And this is how you can use these sensory marketing principles in your business as well. Let me give you a couple more examples. When it comes to music, for example, a recent research study I read somewhere shows that in a banking environment, having a specific uplifting music impacted their interactions or their interactions with their customers, that impacted by plus 233%. Amazingly. So when you get into a bank, imagine like if it is all silent and nothing is you can't hear a thing, and instead of that you start hearing some pleasant music on the other hand. And this has been proved by a research that by having a pleasant music in a banking environment, they saw a huge jump in the interactions. Customers were more happy, less arguing, less complaining, and they were able to handle more customer queries, and more customers were positively impacted. And when it comes to music, let me see whether you can identify this. Hear this music. What comes to your mind? Let me play it again. If you said Intel, you're absolutely right, because Intel has consistently used this music with their logo, because people don't even have to see the logo. As soon as they hear this music, they can imagine, they can recall the brand Intel with this 4-second music. You don't have to spend millions of dollars on designing a music for your brand. All you need to have is using your music clip consistently in all advertising that you do in future. So that will help you to connect with the audience, connect to their auditory senses, and influence them in such a way that when they hear the music, they recall your brand. When it comes to visual, how many of you have seen the golden M on the highways, in streets, wherever you want? Whenever you're hungry, when you see the golden M, you can eat there. And this has been the visual mode of attracting or influencing or appealing to the visual senses of customers from McDonald's for a very long time, and they consistently use this everywhere. You already know that. And one more example would be the red bottle with the logo like open happiness. What does that remind you? Anything red, anything in the form of or shape of a bottle would remind me of Coke. So they have been using consistently this visual medium to convey their branding message. And when it comes to olfactory, let me give you 2 more examples. How many of you have had coffee in Starbucks? That's because I've heard that Starbucks even uses machines to brew their coffee in such a way that it spews out aroma, the aroma of coffee in their stores. And many people go to the Starbucks store just because of the aroma, not because of coffee. They take coffee anyway, but because it's the aroma that attracts them. And Starbucks also sells coffee making machines, and people who buy coffee making machines, which cost anywhere around $800 to $1,000 a piece, they take home, which produces the same kind of coffee that they can get in Starbucks, but people say that it's not the same coffee, because in Starbucks store they get the aroma, their olfactory senses are excited, and that makes Starbucks a very successful brand. And similarly, Nespresso is another coffee brand that sells coffee making machines. And coffee making machines, when they started selling these machines, they started to see a decline, or they did not get the kind of response they wanted or they anticipated for their machines. And what was the culprit was they had designed the brewing machine in such a way that the coffee beans were kept in an airtight container which went directly into the brewing machine when you press the button, so that the aroma of the beans is not lost, and the entire 100% of the aroma of the coffee is injected into the liquid, so that when the customer takes the coffee and takes a sip, they get the full aroma. But that was not the problem, or that's where the actual problem lied. In fact, the other way around. People don't drink coffee to taste coffee. People drink coffee for the aroma of coffee. And when they started tweaking their machines and made some arrangements so that the aroma is released into the room when they put the switch on before they brew the coffee, they started seeing they started seeing a hike in the sales figures, and that has been proven beyond doubt. Then they started selling more and more coffee brewing machines that is from Nespresso. So these are some of the marketing, and especially sensory marketing, which uses your visual, auditory, the olfactory, that is the sense of smell, and sense of touch as well, and of course backed by great customer support, can get you or your brand or help your brand become a super brand. Thank you very much. Let's meet each other. Let's join for one of our classes, or in one of our seminars, or in another video. Until then, keep smiling, believe in yourself, and get all the best things in life.